Wireless mice carried a bad rap for ages, but modern tech has erased those old latency and connection problems. Today, the real questions are comfort, battery life, and budget. If you haven't switched to a wireless gaming mouse yet, now is the time. Today, we're reviewing and comparing 5 of the best options out there, and by the end, you'll know exactly which one is right for your style of play. And we'll go roughly from entry level to more premium models. Let's start with Lenovo's sleeper hit. Lenovo hasn't always been the first brand that comes to mind when you think gaming mouse, but the Legion M410 seriously deserves some attention at a wildly affordable price point. It has the same ingredients you'd expect from the big names: a high-end optical sensor that goes up to 16,000 dpi, a 1000 Hz polling rate for responsiveness, and a lightweight shell that feels nimble without being hollow. The big win here is that Lenovo has made it rechargeable with an 800 milliamp hour battery that delivers dozens of hours of play per charge. In other words, you don't have to raid the kitchen drawer for AA batteries every few weeks. Add in the customizable RGB zones and you've got a mouse that looks the part on any gaming setup. Now, in terms of feel, it's clearly designed for right-handed gamers. The shape has that familiar ergonomic curve, so your thumb has a natural resting spot. If you play longer sessions, it's comfortable enough that you won't be shaking your hand out every hour. It's not the absolute lightest mouse in this lineup, but the balance is solid, and the build quality doesn't feel like a budget compromise. If I had to sum it up, the Legion M410 is like that underdog player who shows up to a tournament and actually holds their own against the big names. It's not the flashiest, but it covers the fundamentals really well and often comes in at a better price than the heavy hitters from Logitech or Razer. It's currently around only $30 on Amazon. This may be the perfect starting point for a wireless gaming mouse.
If the Lenovo M410 is the underdog, the Logitech G305 is the dependable workhorse. This mouse has been around for years, and even in 2025, it's still one of the easiest recommendations for gamers who don't want to overthink it.
The G305 is powered by Logitech's Hero sensor, which is ridiculously efficient. Instead of charging, it runs off a single AA battery, and that tiny cell somehow lasts for months. Logitech quotes around 250 hours of play. For most people, that means you'll change the battery maybe 3 or 4 times a year, and you never have to worry about plugging in a cable mid-match. Now, the trade-off is weight. With that AA battery inside, it comes in just under 100 grams. Not exactly ultralight, but not a brick either. What makes it work is the symmetry of the shell. It's compact, clean, and suits claw or fingertip grip players especially well. Palm grippers might find it a little too small, but for fast, twitchy movements, it feels quick and snappy. Performance-wise, the Lightspeed wireless connection is still rock solid. No lag, no hiccups. It's basically indistinguishable from wired. That's why the G305 keeps showing up on best budget lists year after year. It's affordable, it performs like a champ, and it doesn't break when you inevitably toss it in a backpack. If you're the kind of gamer who values reliability and battery life over flashy features, the G305 is the no-brainer pick. It's not going to win any awards for RGB or cutting-edge design, but it nails the basics better than most mice twice its price. If the G305 is about reliability, the Razer Viper Ultimate is about speed. This is Razer's flagship lightweight mouse, built for competitive players who care about every millisecond of reaction time. At around 74 grams, it feels incredibly nimble, especially if you're coming from something heavier like the G502. The design is ambidextrous, which means it works just as well for left-handed players as it does for right-handed ones. It's low profile, sleek, and made for claw or fingertip grips. Palm grippers might find it a little too flat, but if you want agility and quick flicks, this shape is ideal. Performance-wise, it's no slouch either. Razer's optical switches give a crisp, instant click, and the Focus Plus sensor tracks as precisely as anything on the market. Battery life lands around 70 hours without lighting, which is plenty for a full week of gaming before it needs a charge. And unlike the G305, this one comes with a slick charging dock in many bundles. You just drop it on the stand, and it's always topped up and ready to go. No scrambling for batteries, no awkward charging cables mid-game. What really makes the Viper Ultimate stand out is the combination of lightweight and build quality. Some ultralight mice feel fragile, like you could snap them in half during a rage quit. The Viper Ultimate manages to feel sturdy while still gliding like air across the mousepad. If you're serious about fast-paced shooters or just want a mouse that feels invisible in your hand, the Viper Ultimate is a dream. It's not the cheapest option, but if your goal is to shave off every tiny bit of delay between your brain and your crosshair, This is where you spend the money. If the Viper Ultimate is all about speed and minimalism, the Basilisk V3 X Hyperspeed is about comfort and versatility. This is Razer's ergonomic right-handed mouse that gives your hand an actual place to rest, complete with the signature thumb ledge that makes it feel more like a lounge chair than a racing seat. It's not an ultralight by any stretch, but that's kind of the point. This mouse is made for people who want long sessions without strain, plus a healthy number of programmable buttons for everything from grenades to copy and paste macros. The extra buttons are well placed too, useful without feeling like you're fumbling around on a spaceship control panel. One of its biggest selling points is battery life. You can run it on Razer's Hyperspeed wireless mode for roughly 280 hours, or switch to Bluetooth for an absurd 500 plus hours. That's the kind of endurance where you might actually forget when you last changed the battery. Of course, it takes a single AA, so when it does finally run out, swapping is quick and painless. Performance is still sharp thanks to Razer's 5G sensor, and while it won't feel as feather quick as the Viper, it strikes a nice balance between responsiveness and comfort. It's the mouse you can use all day for work and then dive straight into a gaming marathon without thinking twice. If you're someone who likes a bigger, more supportive shape and doesn't want to stress about charging, the Basilisk V3 Hyperspeed is an easy recommendation. It's less esports champion and more daily driver you'll never regret picking up. And finally, we come to the Logitech G502 X Plus. This beast is the full luxury SUV of gaming mice. This is the modern evolution of Logitech's most iconic mouse, and it does not hold back on features. The shape is instantly familiar to anyone who has used a G502 before, big, sculpted, and designed for right-handed players who want a mouse that feels substantial in the hand. It's a little heavier than the others on this list, tipping just over 100 grams, but that weight makes it feel planted and controlled rather than sluggish. Feature-wise, the G502 X Plus packs in everything. Logitech's Hero 25K sensor for flawless tracking, Lightspeed wireless for latency-free performance, and a scroll wheel that can swap from precise notches to a free-spinning flywheel with a flick of your finger. That last feature might sound small, but once you've flown through 100 lines of code or zipped through a spreadsheet, you'll never want to go back. Battery life is impressive too. With RGB off, you'll get over 100 hours of playtime. With the lighting on, it's closer to 30 or 40, but here's the kicker. It supports Logitech's PowerPlay system. If you invest in the compatible mousepad, the G502 X Plus charges wirelessly while you use it, which means you literally never think about battery again. This mouse is not about being the lightest or the simplest. It's about giving you every tool at your disposal, programmable buttons, customizable lighting, scroll wheel tricks, and letting you decide how much you want to use. If you're the type of gamer who bounces between shooters, MMOs, and maybe a little productivity work on the side, the G502 X Plus is basically the Swiss Army knife of gaming mice. If this helped you find your next mouse, hit like, subscribe, and stick around for more straightforward tech reviews.